Hello, my name is Jim Brown, Mayor of Cedar Falls. Today we're going to have another edition of the Mayor's Corner for an update on the University Avenue construction project. With me today is Director Stephanie Sheets. And in terms of this process, right now it's November 22nd. And Stephanie, it's been an amazing season. From you and I in the middle of the spring, walking up and down the corridor, making sure folks had the signage right, make sure that we were offering all we could offer as the city, seeing the old road and then to ruins, and now the new road and the new design. It's been very exciting to say the least, and really for the most part, folks have been patient, haven't they?
Very patient. I think that a lot of people know that construction is it can consume everything in that corridor, and it certainly has. There's been a lot going on. But like you said, the businesses have been very patient, and I think a lot of people just excited to see what's happening out there.
Yes.
And that transformation of this corridor.
Especially if you see, if you go down north or south on Highway 58, you can get that bird's eye view of really what the design's looking like, and a few times even with folks in my car, they say, oh, this is what it's going to look like. It really is kind of coming together from that bird's eye view.
Yes, yeah, that's a nice perspective.
Yeah. And so for right now, what is the update on University Avenue and the construction project?
Well, construction is continuing as weather permits here through the winter, and so this week what we'll see before the Thanksgiving holiday is that we will be switching traffic to have one lane in each direction that will be on their respective side of the road versus what we call that head-to-head condition, all on one side. So if you're traveling westbound, you'll be on the north lane, and then if you're traveling eastbound, you'll be on that south lane. Again, one lane in each direction here.
And I mentioned a second ago that this is November 22nd, and the Thanksgiving holiday is up and coming. Probably an increase in traffic because the typical shopping season shortly after the holiday. What's that going to look like, at least for the near short term?
So anticipating that heavier traffic during the Thanksgiving holiday where people are out wanting to shop, we will have traffic on University Avenue be 2 lanes in each direction during that extended holiday weekend so that we can accommodate that traffic. And following that, then we will go back to 1 lane in each direction as the weather permits and as construction can continue until we're kind of fully into winter, and then open that up to 2 lanes in each direction over the winter.
So folks will see something different this weekend, but they may have to pull back a little bit to where more construction can still take place based on weather permitting and different things that the construction folks think need to happen.
Yes, we absolutely want to keep that continuing so that we minimize disruption come spring and summer, try to get as much done as we can, but it will probably be work more in kind of the side areas or in the median, maybe related to landscaping if possible, maybe some concrete work depending on the temperatures, putting in lights, those types of things.
So they'll really start to see the differences because the Boulder Drive and Holiday Drive, I'm sorry, I forget what they actually technically are. Those roundabouts will be open. They'll see the functioning that we've been talking about for quite a long time.
Yes, that's a very good point. Those roundabouts will be fully open. They've been operating kind of in a stop condition, I'll say, where it's been a traditional intersection, but that pavement has been there and people have been on it a little bit. But now when we switch the traffic to having the traffic in the appropriate lanes, depending on the direction they're heading, and then into 2 lanes over the extended weekend, holiday weekend of Thanksgiving, the roundabout intersections at Boulder and Holiday will be fully functional. And operating as designed.
As they should, right?
Yes.
And there's always some unique conversations that I have as I'm around town. Mainly, it seems to come up that when folks leave Hy-Vee and they're looking to go back to the Dome,
yeah,
there's a lane by Carlos O'Kelly's, and then there's also further down there's the roundabout by Boulder, by the bank, and by Burger King. Can you explain maybe the flow there the traffic engineers were thinking and what's really going to be coming to fruition?
I think that that's a really good point to highlight because we have had a lot of questions about that intersection there, Valley Park Drive, where Hy-Vee gas is, and how people have been so used to being able to turn if you're heading north out of Hy-Vee, like you said, and you want to then turn west onto University Avenue to go back to the Dome, for example. You're used to being able to turn left there, and that will no longer be a condition that's allowed under the new design. So in order to come out of the Hy-Vee area, and if you're wanting to go left to go west, then you need to get to the Boulder Drive intersection where the roundabout is located and go around that and then head on your way down University Avenue.
Excellent. Switching gears a little bit, I believe the staff has done a wonderful job in conveying various communications throughout the entire process. We had these Mayor Corners meeting. We've had meetings every other week. We've had the website update. We've given contact information. Is anything going to be changing there in terms of those real specific sort of communication pieces from the city? Are they backing down until phase 2 kicks in? What's the plan there?
We had planned during the very active construction over the summer, and knowing this was the first phase, that we were going to be spending time being available to the businesses, and that wasn't going to be just walking around from business to business, which we've done a lot of. Both you and I have done that, as well as our project manager has done a fair amount of communicating with the businesses that way. But we had, like you mentioned, every other week a meeting where it was an open house format where anybody could come and ask questions, primarily intended for the businesses. And that now that we're less active in construction getting into the winter season, we'll suspend that, and then we'll see how that might go for construction next year and how we might do that for phase 2. I think that's a great opportunity for people to contact us, but people can always contact us by phone or in person as well.
Absolutely. Yep, staff has been really good with that. So looking forward to the rest of this phase 1. What are we going to look at in terms of various entrances by Waterloo Road, McLean, and then ultimately through the winter into next spring?
So there's still work to be done out there. There was a lot going on this summer, and there's still more to happen next summer. So next year, what will be the focus is to try to finish up replacing old pavement with new pavement. So the area that will remain with old pavement over the winter includes the area that we generally refer to as the Blackhawk Village entrance, which is around Happy's and kind of the entrance to Coles area on those south lanes, and continuing to the east there to McLean. That old pavement will stay in place. The Waterloo roundabout that's designed there is partially in, but over the winter season here we'll have a temporary traffic signal because it will not be completed in order to function as a roundabout. So it will have a temporary signal over the winter, and then in the spring, as weather permits, we'll be back working in that area. And then also we need to work on, there's just one frontage road left as a part of this project on the north side there, generally from about Melrose to that Blackhawk Village entrance, but on the north side there it's the Clarion Hotel. So we'll be back next summer working in that area, and then also finishing up the sidewalks, the lighting, the landscaping, all of that with this area that we refer to as phase 1 of the project.
Leads me to my next and final question. What's in store for phase 2?
Phase 2 will be the next area that we work on, and that generally stretches from then McLean, where phase 1 ends, and goes to the east to Midway. And that is a very long stretch, so we anticipate splitting that over 2 years, and we anticipate starting on the east end. We'll have more details in the spring as we bid the project and we know a little bit more about what's going to happen. We will have a public meeting to help understand what we refer to as the staging, kind of how is that construction going to happen. But we anticipate starting on the east end for 2 reasons. One, there's a drainage divide in this area, so we want to be sure that we're not going to have flooding happening during construction. And then 2, we want to give the contractor that's working in phase 1 the room and the time to get done with the phase 1 and not have interference with construction. So we'll start on that east end. You could see then as phase 1 wraps up, you could see a little bit of work in the McLean floodplain area to maybe Round. Again, this is still all in a little bit of flux, and we'll have more information in the spring on that as we start to see that project coming together.
Very good. Always something to think about way ahead that you have to plan for now, isn't there?
Yes, and people are asking and wanting to know. They're trying to make plans. Businesses trying to understand what to prepare for next year, and we want to try to provide as much information as we can. So I would encourage any business in that Phase 2 area that might feel like they need to know more to just give us a call, and we'll talk with them a little bit about what we anticipate. And again, we'll be trying to hold several meetings so that we're getting that information out to folks.
Very good. Well, I think that does it for this most recent update on University Avenue. Hopefully, from what we conveyed today, it helps visualize and picture in your mind what is upcoming for the months ahead. As always, thanks so much to everyone who's been involved in this project, those businesses that have been extremely patient, and for staff that have been diligent. And as Stephanie mentioned, if there's still questions needing to be answered, the information there is on the screen. Call anytime, email, and check things appropriately that is easiest for you. So once again, thank you and happy holidays.